Hi there. Welcome to part 4 of my Divine Feminine Awakening series. In the last several videos, I have talked a lot about the history of women's spirituality and how that's integrated into society today, and how more women than ever are spiritually awakening, and we're being able to connect through apps like this on TikTok or other online forums and groups that are helping us to come together as a community. But I didn't talk a lot about practices that you can use in your daily life to help with your spiritual awakening, because when you first start having this intuition come in, or having prophetic dreams, remembering past lives, seeing a whole bunch of repeating numbers on license plates and everywhere you go, or you get into a twin flame situation and you're really just having this confusion and dark night of the soul and just feeling so lost, and like everything you thought you knew about life kind of just fell apart, and you realized you really didn't know the truth at all. It can be a scary feeling at first, and it can kind of make you feel like you're losing your mind or going crazy, because you suddenly are seeing so much about life and about the world that other people just are not aware of. And having that level of awareness and having to walk through your day-to-day life and take your kids to school and go to the supermarket and do all the stuff you usually do, it can be really overwhelming and difficult. So one of the first and most important things that you can do is make sure you're taking a lot of time for self-care. And if you need to rest. If you need to go out in nature and reconnect, do that. If you need to sleep more, do that. If you need to heal your vessel and take care of your body and eat healthier, do that. There's a lot that goes into self-care. And another aspect of self-care as well is learning to set boundaries and say no to people and to things that are not serving your highest good anymore. So a lot of that for me, especially, I used to be a bar owner, so stepping away from the bar scene was a huge thing for me, because that was just not a healthy lifestyle for me, to be out every day until 2 a.m. and it wasn't healthy. So if you're in a pattern like that, or you're in the whole mommy wine culture thing, like taking a step back from that and focusing on your health and yourself and your well-being, that really is also a very spiritual thing to do. Because if you are trying to do spiritual practices and you're tired, it's very difficult. So this whole, I'm very like mind, body, spirit alignment, and bringing yourself into that kind of alignment and taking care of your whole self and every aspect of your being is very important. So that self-care is first. Taking care of your health, drinking lots of water, go to your doctor checkups, go to the dentist. I know this sounds like really basic things and maybe not so spirituality, but taking care of yourself always has to be a priority, because you cannot fill up anybody else's cup if your own cup is empty. And one of the reasons I think as women we are so pushed into this do attitude, and like we have to always be in a hurry, we always have so much that we have to do. Our to-do list is 17 pages long, or it feels like that at least sometimes. It's just this toxic myth in society of the modern superwoman and the woman who can do it all and be it all. And that was a very like 70s women's liberation thing. It was like the first time that women were able to have their own banking, their own financials, to be in the workplace and be more accepted. So women were willing at that time to be full-time career, full-time mom, and try to do it all. But I think millennials and younger generations, like Gen Z, for example, is learning that being able to do it all, you cannot do it all well. It just eventually leads to burnout and you crash, and it's not a pretty thing. So I think some women actually come to spirituality through that, through burnout and through trying to heal their mental health. And once they do and get in a mental healthier place, they go to personal development, and then you start asking all those big questions like, what is the meaning of life? What is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? And then that leads you to spirituality. So there's all different paths of how we get here. And so making sure you're just in that mind, body, spirit alignment all the time is very important. And one of the practices that I find very helpful to do that is yoga, because it is all those things. It's mind, body, spirit, wellness, all in one practice. And you can take 5 minutes a day to start, 10 minutes a day, and start your practice, because that time you spend on the mat, that's something that you're dedicating 100% to you. And that is the first and foremost thing, is making yourself a priority in your own life. Because a lot of times as women, we are not doing that. We are not prioritizing ourselves. We're putting ourselves last, and so far last on that 17-page to-do list that we never get to meeting our own needs. And to take yourself up to the top of your list and set aside 5 minutes, just say 5 minutes for now, at the beginning of the day to do something for yourself, that's a huge, huge step in the right direction to making yourself a priority. And I started doing yoga actually kind of by accident. I was trying to lose weight. I was in this program, it was called Metabolic Renewal. It had you take this quiz to figure out why you were getting fat. And mine was because of stress. Because cortisol is your stress hormone, and it also holds in all this tummy fat. And I had just had a baby. I was trying to lose the baby weight, and I couldn't do it because I was too stressed out. So yoga is a form of exercise that lets you breathe, it lets you move quietly. You're not doing this fast-paced running cardio all the time. And for me, that's been very helpful. So also, yoga has very ancient roots in India, and India is crazy spiritual, and they actually have a lot of goddess traditions there as well, which is very interesting if you look into Hinduism. You can find a lot of goddess traditions there as well that are very exciting to look into, and I can cover that in the future if you're interested in that as well. So yoga, with having those roots in India, it focuses you on your breath, and when you breathe, you reset. And even taking like 3 deep breaths, that can help you reset your nervous system and not feel so stressed out and return to your situation feeling calmer. So when you're focusing on your breath doing your yoga practice, that helps you integrate mind, body, spirit through your breath. And the one thing in my yoga videos that they say is, remember, you can always come back to this breath at any time. So anytime through the day, just when you feel stressed, close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. And then you feel better. Pretty simple, right? And also, along with yoga, I find meditation to be very helpful. I would say that probably is like the #1 spiritual practice I would recommend, because through meditation, you're reconnecting to yourself. You're connecting to your heart. You're connecting to your own inner wisdom, and you're learning to listen to yourself. Because when you pray, you're talking to spirit. When you meditate, you're listening for spirit to speak. And you hear the voice of your own soul. You hear the goddess speak. You hear spirit guides speak. You might even learn to connect with spirit guides or angels through meditation. And the more you do it, you learn. The #1 important thing to learn from meditation is that you are not your thoughts. You are the watcher of your thoughts. And you can come back to that anytime during the day as well, and just remember who you are. Remember that you are this spiritual being, and you are here on this human journey in this human body, and bringing those two into alignment, your body, your soul, and your mind. So creating that 3-dimensional wellness for yourself is a huge step to start. And for more, you can check out the rest of the series. You can check out a bunch of my ebooks on spirituality. I have The Slavery of Women, Compassion, and Practicing Buddhism. So see you in the next video. Love you guys.